Hello everyone, this is Darienne and welcome to Dari Awakened. I have this really great idea. I don't know if you guys are a part of DariAwakened.com, if you've been able to explore it, if you've been able to explore any of the videos that I've done, but it's really growing into something so awesome, I think. And the audience is starting to grow here and there, and it's really, it's kind of all trickling in and all coming together. So what I love so much about this is that this is kind of the stuff that I'm doing all day, every day anyway. So just to share it with you guys and to share it with anybody and, you know, give you guys the tools that I used. So last Friday, I put on a video, and I've never done this before because usually I'm reading books and sort of doing video blogs on the books that I'm reading and sharing that experience with you guys. But last Friday, I decided to just do a random video. And I woke up with worry, and I decided to do EFT and share that with you guys because that's a tool that I use. There's millions of tools that I've come across over the last 4 years. So what I decided to do was give these videos a name and a space, and every Friday I will post these videos calling them Freedom Fridays, because this is going to give you the tools to free yourself from any sort of unhappiness, depression. If you're stuck in anything, we get in our own ways, and these are the tools that I've used that have really worked for me. You know, I think that what I've begun to realize, what I think I realized a few years ago, was that for me, I had depression for many years, and for me, I think that happiness is really a lifestyle choice, and it's really a life commitment. So if you want to be happy, you have to do these sort of exercises and really stay aware, because we've gotten so used to being unhappy, and we just sort of live that way. And sometimes we're just sort of this shell moving through life, and it's a crime, I believe. So I want to give you guys a background of where I've come from and why I'm sort of self-proclaimed have the credentials to talk about this stuff. I was diagnosed with depression when I was 13 years old. I shortly became, after that I was a cutter, where I would cut myself. Back in the day, there really wasn't a name for that, and there wasn't a big epidemic, and I think that I thought I might have been the only one. But shortly after that, I became addicted to a drug called ecstasy. And when I was 18 years old, I became pregnant and a teen mom at 19. I had a really rough road. Later on, as an adult, I became addicted to not necessarily just alcohol, but the party lifestyle. And I was just really avoiding my pain at all costs, and I was just thrill-seeking. You know, I knew, what I realized later on is that I knew that there was this thing deep within me, what I call God, and we have this need for God, and we're all searching for God, and I was searching for God through this excitement, thrill-seeking, party, crazy, insane life. So when I was 24 years old, I had this thing happen to me. Luckily, by the grace of God, I did not die from it, but I asphyxiated on my own, or I didn't asphyxiate on my own vomit. One night, one drunk, crazy night at 24 years old, I woke up in just a puddle of my own vomit when I had friends that had passed away that way. And it really was sort of a wake-up call for me. Luckily. And that actually wasn't the initial moment that woke me up. It was when the guy that I had been dating at the time, who was a recovering alcoholic, said to me, wow, you're not going to stop until you're dead or in jail. And it woke me up. Like, that's not me. Who is that person? Somebody just said that to me? That really woke me up. So I decided to go on this ultimate quest for peace. And I read this amazing book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. This book completely changed my life. Not because it was telling me necessarily anything that I hadn't heard before, because it was telling me things that I'd never heard before. But the thing that made it such an aha for me was that I knew what I was reading. I recognized it. I understood it. I heard it within myself. And Eckhart Tolle was just sort of articulating this thing I had already known all along. So because of that, I decided to completely change my life. At that time, 24 years old, exactly 4 years ago, I decided to change my life by quitting the party life. I quit drinking. I quit smoking cigarettes. I became celibate until I found someone that I literally was head over heels in love with. And I had to be in love with them before I gave my body to them, which was not something I was used to doing. I put myself into traditional therapy with a therapist that has literally been an angel to me. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know that I call her my angel. She is a woman of faith. So we've been able to mix traditional therapy with that faith-based foundation that's extremely important to me. And very shortly after that, only a few months after I decided to completely change my life around, and I was doing it, and I had this immediate, amazing motivation, my daughter's father committed suicide. And I was in such an amazing place that I handled my mourning and that entire situation with such amazing grace. No pun intended. Or pun intended. But I handled it with such amazing grace. And it was these tools and these amazing books and these resources that I've used in tapping into my source. Right? Because that's the purpose of these resources for me. Is it's a way to teach me the way back home. Where I belong. Who I am. To show me that. So the death of my daughter's father really catapulted me into a life of service. And for the last 4 years, that's what I've been doing. Simultaneously growing as a student of life and learning, or should I say unlearning everything I've learned, all of the tragedy and the stories that I tell myself over the years, unlearning that while simultaneously living and pursuing my dreams and building the life that I've always dreamed of and becoming a service worker and doing this for you guys, which is so important to me. It is becoming every day the most fulfilling life and better than I ever imagined. And it really is my heart and soul manifested. And I've worked so hard, and it just excites me to be able to share these kinds of resources with you. So this really seems like it should be the first video because I'm explaining all of this, but this is our second video, our second Freedom Friday video. And today we're going to talk about how to turn your complaints into positive affirmations and change your life. Because that's the key. What I think we don't realize is that, well, I think that when we learn about the ego and we learn, you know, oh, I'm such a complainer, that's the ego that complains, and I'm in so much pain, we kind of beat ourselves up. At least that's what I did. And I want to show you guys, I want to give you guys a different way of looking at your complaints. And for me, what I've been able to do and what I did with this little exercise, I did it a few days ago, and I was like, for the last few days, I've been super stoked to share it with you guys because I really wanted to implement it into my own life and make sure that this is something that's going to work. But what we can do with our complaints is look at the complaints that we have as sort of the doorway to our desires, right? When we figure out what we don't want, we can very easily afterwards figure out, well, what we do want after that. So what I did was, and what I want you guys to do is I wrote down 5 of my complaints. And I want to keep it short like that. I mean, we could go on and on and on about our complaints in our lives, I'm sure. So I just took a notepad. This is my journal. This is my bright red, beautiful journal, which I love very much. And I pour my whole heart and soul into. But I took a notepad, and what I want you to do is on one side, I want you to write your complaints. And they don't necessarily have to be complaints. They could be something that's not really working for you in your life, a relationship that's not working so well, something that you hear yourself saying over and over again, God, I wish you didn't do that, that's a complaint. So we're going to list 5 of our complaints, right? And then on the other side, we're going to turn them into affirmations. And I'm going to show you guys how I did that. And we'll kind of work on affirmations with you. And then I'm going to give you the 1,000,000 steps to really change your life. I mean, this is about how dedicated are you to your own happiness. And I'm going to give you different levels of commitment that you can add to this. And the more you put in, the more you'll get out. So what I like to do is sort of hybrid all of the many tools that I use, like affirmations, EFT, mirror work, smiling, just the act of smiling can lift your spirits. So I like to sort of put, and that's what we're going to do today, is sort of the hybrid of personal development work. So what I did, I'll go through my 5, I just have this little piece of paper because we're also going to do a ritual with these complaints. So our first step is we're going to write down our complaints. My complaint was, my 5 complaints were, my daughter, and I'm sure a lot of us have a complaint about our children, she can act a little irresponsible at sometimes. She's not picking up after herself. She can be a little disrespectful. And I have this idea that parenting is difficult, right? That it's like I'm having this crappy time. So my next complaint is my home is a mess and it's making me feel scatterbrained. That's one thing that I want you guys to do. Not only do you put your complaint, you're going to put how you feel. How does that complaint, that thing that you don't want, how does that make you feel? Because that's really the core of it. I learned recently that feelings are 10 times stronger than thoughts. So it's not just about positive thinking, it's about positive feeling, and that's what we're going to work on. So number 3, I put, actually number 3 and number 4 sort of coincide with one another. Number 3 was about my business and not really making the money that I want to make in my business. I'm not making a steady income. And I figured out that it has something to do with my self-worth. I really think, I'm a wholehearted believer that the amount of money we make is directly attached to our self-worth. Especially when you are like me in business for yourself. You're not just collecting a paycheck, working hours. It really is a manifestation of your own perception of your self-worth. So that was my sort of complaint, my issue. Number 4 was that I have money, because if you guys knew in my, I think it was the video blog for Daring Greatly, the very first one, I kind of gave you a recap after the May Cause Miracles video blog challenge that I did sort of have a few $1,000s just fall into my lap, and I have it falling into my lap yet again, very recently coming up. But my issue has been, what do I do with it? I have all this money and I don't know what to do with it. So like, I'm not keeping it, or it's just sitting in a bank account, not doing anything, and it's not working for me. That was my next complaint. And then number 5 was my health, right? So I haven't really been feeling, I've been getting these weird headaches. You know, I just haven't been feeling quite right. And I want to feel strong and healthy. So I took these 5 complaints, and I'm going to tell you something you're going to do with these later on. But you're going to keep that complaint on this side, right? Now, you want to keep them kind of separate because we're actually going to cut these out, and we're going to need that. You can, if you want, what I did with, once we do the affirmations, you'll see in the picture that I posted with this post on DariaAwaken.com. What I did was I put them on these pretty little Post-it notes, and I hung them, the affirmations, up on a mirror, my vanity mirror. You might want to do it on your bathroom mirror, or a mirror that you're going to pass every day. But you can write them down on this piece of paper and just sort of cut them out if you'd like to. But we're going to need to keep them separate. So now we're going to go on to the complaints. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to take that complaint. And because our complaints are the gateway to our desires, we're going to turn these into positive affirmations. So, and I really want you guys to be interactive with this one. If you have some questions, go on to DariaAwaken.com and comment me what complaint you've turned into what affirmation, and we'll sort of work out what the best affirmation is for you. So, number 1, with my daughter, what I did was, the affirmations I've been saying every day is, my daughter, Kylie is her name, Kylie is respectful and responsible and so easy for me to enjoy and parent. So what I do with that is my EFT work that I've been doing, and we'll go on after that. So the next affirmation, with my home being a mess, my affirmation is, my home is clean and organized and makes me feel amazing, clear-headed, and creative. It's really important to add that. How does it make you feel? How do you feel? Because you want to think about that thought. You want to think about feeling that way, because that puts you into, it's been called Nevilleizing by Joe Vitale. That puts you into the moment that you want to attract into your life. It puts you into the feeling. And the subconscious does not know the difference between the feeling or it actually happening. Okay? So the next one was my value, my worth, and my business. So what I said was, I recognize the value of my work and receive a steady income for it. I recognize the value of my work and receive a steady income for it. The next one, you guys can bite off of me if you want. You can take my affirmations. Like I said, I really want you guys to kind of let me know if you're not really familiar with affirmations, especially turning your complaints into positive affirmations. Please talk to me. I'm a writer. I've been doing affirmations forever, and I'm really good at this stuff. So the next one is about money and how I didn't quite know what to do with my money. And I'm, okay, now I've attracted all this money. I'm really good. I'm, master manifester. Now I don't know what to do with it. So my number 4 affirmation is, I am making my money work for me, and it's growing every day. I am making my money work for me, and it's growing every day. And you want to say that with a smile, just like me, and I like to sing it a little bit. And just, you gotta feel good about it when you talk about it. The next one was about me getting into shape. So I wrote, I am in the best physical shape of my life, and I feel strong, free, and energized. Because that's how I wanted to feel. So Now that you guys have your affirmations, you've written down your complaints on one side, and you've written your affirmations on the other. There's millions of steps to this. So, and these are all suggestions. You can do one of them, you can do all of them. I do all of them because I like to do my self-work on crack. Because that's how, not me on crack, the work on crack. So, the next step we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to post these on a mirror that we're passing every day. Whether it's your bathroom mirror, your vanity mirror, I have it on my vanity mirror, as shown in the picture on this post. And I put them on these pretty little Post-its. I put little hearts on them because that's what I like to do. You don't have to do that. You can just cut these out and tape them up there. Whatever you want to do. You want to be able to look at them every day. Now we're going to implement these into our morning ritual. It will take you maybe 5 minutes. And I can give you a shortened version of it or the lengthened version of it. We're going to add some EFT to this. Now, for the EFT tapping points, I've put this on, I believe if you look in the Affirmations tab of DarianeAwaken.com, there are the tapping points. If you don't know them, I'm going to go through them right now. So we're going to look at ourselves in the mirror, right? Without judgment, okay? We're going to look at ourselves in the mirror without judgment. We're going to put a big old smile on our face, even if it feels forced and fake. We're going to fake it till we make it, okay? And it's going to take some time and lots of practice, but it will be worth it, I promise you. You kind of have to go against everything in you sometimes to be happy, because that ego will go kicking and screaming and put up the biggest fight it possibly can, I promise you. But you got to stay strong, okay? This is your happiness on the line. This is your lifelong fulfillment on the line. Think about it, right? So what we're going to do is tap. Now at the end of each of these affirmations, we want to give thanks and say thank you. That's our adding our little gratitude in there. So we're going to tap the beginning of the eyebrow. And I'm going to say, you might want to say your child, I'm going to use my child's name. Kylie is respectful, responsible, and so easy for me to enjoy and parent. Thank you. We're going to do the side of the eye. Kylie is responsible and respectful and so easy to enjoy and parent. Thank you. And we're going to continue through the tapping points, which is underneath the eye, below the nose, the chin, and then the collarbone. We're going to go through all of that. And that's 6 times. What they say is each affirmation that you do should be at least 6 times a day to actually make some effective change in your life. That's been studied. My therapist told me that. And we have 5 affirmations here. If you do not have time to go through each and every one of them, and maybe you want to be a little bit lazy that day, I get it. As long as you put yourself in front of that mirror and you're doing it, you don't have to go through, although it's much more effective, to go through each and every one of them and do the 6 tapping points and say thank you at the end of every single one of them and put your big smile on your face. If all you can do is the 5 affirmations stated once, where you say, I would say, Kylie is respectful, responsible, and so easy for me to parent and enjoy. My home is clean and organized and makes me feel amazing, clear-headed, and creative. I recognize the value of my work and receive a steady income for it. I am making my money work for me, and it is growing every day. I am in the best shape of my entire life, and I feel so strong, free, and energized. Then we end with a thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If that's all you have, that took what, 10 seconds? I don't even know. If that's all the time you have to do, then do it. It's important to get your butt in front of that mirror and do the work. If you can't do all of the work, it's fine. It's just like when I started to go to the gym to really get into a real lifestyle change and a pattern, it takes one day at a time. And if all you can do, for me it was, if all I could do is get in that gym and walk on the treadmill for 15 minutes, then that's all I could do. At least I got myself there. You want to start that pattern in your brain. You want to sort of outsmart your subconscious. This is something we're going to be doing every single day. I want you to put an alarm on your phone or wherever you have something to put an alarm on, and do this every single solitary day until it just becomes second nature, until the things start to manifest in your life. I promise you, this is something crazy that I definitely have to share with you guys. The very first day that I did this, I woke up, as I do many days, I woke up with an idea. So I woke up with the idea to do this a few days ago. My daughter has been like, does not want to clean her room. She's had some bad mornings where she's like, I hate you. You know, she's going into puberty. She's in the beginning stages of it. So we get that. I hate mom moments. And all I did was start to say, my daughter is respectful and responsible. My daughter is respectful and responsible. And I just kept saying it. I'm not even kidding you. This little girl walks in and goes, Mom, I'm going to get organized and I'm going to clean my room. And I'm going to put the duct tape where the duct tape belongs and all the books where they belong. And it goes on. And I was like, okay. Of course I said thank you. And she said, you know what, I'm going to face my fears too, because she's afraid to take a shower because I'm not like in the room with her. So I can't get the girl to take a dang shower sometimes. And so she's like, I'm going to be more responsible and I'm going to face my fears. And I'm not even kidding you. It was like probably 2 minutes after I was saying, my daughter is respectful and responsible, and going on and on and on. So you got to do this stuff. And the reason it works for me is because I believe it works. And that's all you have to do, is believe that it works. And it took me a long time to get to this point. So you want to kind of test the waters and prove it. Prove that it works. Like if you haven't read The Secret yet, you're like, you must be living under a rock, and you have to go read The Secret to learn about the law of attraction and start to get yourself your, parking spots and write yourself checks and do all that stuff until you believe in the law of attraction, because you have to believe. You have to believe for this stuff to work. And like I said, fake it till you make it. So, here's one last thing. I'm going to give you a little bonus to add to this. We're going to do a ritual. We're going to take all those complaints, right? These are my affirmations because I cut the complaints off. We're going to cut them all out separately. I like to do these on the full moon. Actually, I believe, a new moon is coming up soon. You don't have to do it on a full moon. I just like to do them on a full moon, just because that's when we're sort of releasing the things that we no longer want. If you really want to harness the energies, the Earth's energy, that might be a great way to do it, but you don't have to. I want you to get a safe little ritual spot set up where we're going to burn all of these complaints into the atmosphere with love, okay? And they will no longer be a complaint for us. We're going to go through each and every one of them. I want you to start your ritual off with a nice little prayer. You can pray to God. You can pray to the universe. You don't even have to pray. You can just set an intention. This is why I'm here. This is what I'm doing this for. Okay? I want to let go of these complaints. I like to pray to God and say, I call upon all of the healing energy, the loving energy of the universe and nothing else. And I thank you for your presence in this ritual while I let go of these complaints. We're going to burn each and every one of these, okay? Go through every single one of them. I want you to feel the feelings that it brings. My daughter is irresponsible at times, and she can be messy, and just feel that feeling. Cut that paper off, scorch it up, put it, make sure it's safe. You know, do this in a safe place. Put it in a, you know, I have this little bowl that I put all my burning things in, and say goodbye to it. Okay? Because the purpose of rituals is to have this sort of like nostalgic like moment where, just like a wedding or you know, this is the moment where life changes. And that's the purpose of a ritual. It's not this crazy woo-woo, casting spells on people, crazy darkness. It doesn't have to be that. It isn't that. That's not the kind of rituals I'm talking about. But just to have this, give the space and honor the letting go of these complaints. So that's it. If you have any questions, go to DariaWaken.com. Comment me, or you can contact me at the very bottom. There's a little thing that says contact. If you just want to kind of be anonymous and private, you don't want anybody knowing your business, contact me. Talk to me about the affirmations. If you need help with making them the most effective, I can help you. I have years and years of experience with these affirmations. So I know that this one ran a little bit long because this really was the first of, you know, Freedom Friday, the official videos. So the next ones won't run so crazy. And there it is. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you go to that DariaWaken.com. I now have a Facebook page, facebook.com/DariaWakened, and the Instagram, at DariaWakened. I post different things on each of them at all times, so it really is beneficial to like both of them, to follow both of them, and share the inspiration and the conversation. Join with us on DariaWaken.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next Friday.